डेली है ना?
हाँ डेली
हाँ।
होता है। कहाँ है? ये स्क्रीन वाली वीडियो छोटा आ जाएगा।
Okay. Okay, good evening and welcome to this live interaction for the NPTEL online course on designing learner-centric content for e-learning disciplines. And today we have the course team here with us. I'm Sahana Murthy. I'm a professor in the Educational Technology Department at IIT Bombay. And with us we have Shija.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Shija. I work as a research scientist in the Educational Technology Department. The other TAs are Amrit.
Hey, I'm Amrit and I'm first year PhD scholar at the Center for Educational Technology.
Hello everyone, I'm Meera Pawar and I'm fourth year research scholar in Center for Education Technology Department. I hope you are enjoying the learning.
Okay, great. So what we will do today is 2 or 3 things. So maybe we can go to the slides. Yeah. Okay. I hope the slides are visible. Can someone in the video editing team just give us a thumbs up if the slides are okay? Anyway, we'll go ahead. Next, please. Okay, so what we will do in today's live interaction is we had floated a Google form and we got some responses to that. So we will start by answering some of the queries that we have already received. And it's an interactive session, so all are welcome to interact. If you have a question in between, please type it on the YouTube chat. And that's when we are also monitoring that. So we will take questions from there also. We also went through the discussion forum. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we went through the discussion forum and we found your LXI responses to different weeks. And we saw all the and we have tried to collate all your queries regarding all the LXIs, and we'll be going through and taking you through your responses and see where you have done great and where you can all improve. So, yeah.
Okay, so it's about 3 different groups of questions or questions from 3 different media that we will take. So I think we can start with the first question, which we had received on Google Form. This question reads that the course has given step-by-step guidelines to prepare the learning module, but it will be very time-consuming to prepare it for each and every class. What will you suggest on this practical difficulty? And I'm sure the person who wrote this was a faculty member or teacher or instructor, because it's a problem that all of us face. And this is valid. So we're not getting the feed? Oh, we haven't shared yet. Okay. Just give us a moment. Okay. Done? Okay, good. So I hope you are able to see the question now. I'll just say it once again because we couldn't share the screen earlier. So the main idea is that it's very time consuming for an instructor to prepare e-content for every class, and what can we do? And you're absolutely right. And there are some guidelines for it. One mantra you can say that we use, next slide please, is curate before you create, or curation before creation. And this the reason this principle is given, this design principle is given, is that we absolutely understand, and you're absolutely right in saying that creation takes a lot of time. You have to write the script, rehearse, record, edit, render, upload. There's a whole lot of steps. So what you can do here, so there are some guidelines for how to curate. And what curate means is, now e-learning is very popular, online content exists, and a lot of open source content exists. So you first spend some time in looking for what already exists. Find something you like and put it together. This content can be something that your colleague has created, say, last year for the same course. It can be something online, maybe something on YouTube that you actually like. It can be an NPTEL lecture like this. So there's a lot of NPTEL content on domain topics. So is there an issue or? Okay. There's a lot of good content out there, but you as an instructor can decide what to do. So exactly how you do it, what you do it, there is what we're going to share now is some guidelines for content curation. Can you just see, Shija, if it's appearing on YouTube?
Yeah.
Just go up and scroll up. The right menu bar, yeah. Okay, perfect. No,
The OTeach platform.
OTeach platform.
I think you'll have to share that also.
Let's see if we can. We're just sharing. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, can we go to? Can you click on the home page of OTeach by the there? There is a delay. Okay,
There is
it doesn't matter. If you click on the home page, online teaching, with on the upper left where it says home, you will get to the home page and you will see that there's a lot of different topics that are there in this online website. It tells you about how you can make decisions. It tells you about the principles of online teaching. I think it's just a little slow in updating. It tells you how to prepare content. So if you can click on prepare content, the tab there. Okay. If you can click on prepare content, you will see curation and you will go back to the initial page that we were talking about. It's going to happen very slowly. Yeah. She's a little bigger. It will come. Okay. So I'm just waiting for it to load on your screens. I'll wait for as soon as it comes. Okay, so you will see here that the key points of curating content are, it says the same thing, that creating video content is time consuming. A lot of such material exists for most topics in standard curricula. What you can do is first find the material that you think is applicable, that you think is of good quality. When you share it with students, you have to tell them, you have to state how this content fits into the course's plan, how so that students actually go through it. And then you have to create activities for students to assimilate this. So it's not that you simply throw the, you simply give a link. It's not just about giving a link. It's about connecting it to your the rest of the topics you're teaching and creating activities. So if you scroll down on this page, it tells you why to create content. And if you scroll further down, it tells you how to create content. And finally, it tells you how to use the utilized content. Okay. Now, you have to be careful about a few things. Sometimes, the one question you might be really wondering about is, is it okay to curate content? And how much to create? Can I borrow or curate all the content for my course? So the first thing you have to understand is that curation is a very deliberate and thoughtful design act. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not simply copy pasting a link and sharing. Can you scroll down? She's a keyboard. We'll look at questions later. Yeah, I just want to see what is being noted. And then you also have a lot of technology tools you can use to curate this. There are two things you have to check. One is that the content that you curate has the proper licenses. Okay. The second thing you have to, is there something about licenses, Bill?
Yes. Creative Commons. Yeah, we talk about Creative.
Okay. On this page, you will see some, don't go to any other page. It will be there here. So first thing you have to check is if the licenses are valid. And the second thing you have to check is whether, if you're doing this as part of a university course, whether, there is a problem with your university, is it okay with your university and all that. But the first recommendation we have is that curate before you curate. So maybe we can go back to the slides. Okay. Now, in spite of all this, if you want to curate, if you want to create your own content, the same website that we saw, online teaching, the same Google sites, actually give you a lot of materials on how to create content, what tools to use, what guidelines to use, and you have this full course, right? So let's go to the next slide. Another option you have is to, in your university or for your course, start creating a repository for your curriculum by several instructors teaching the same topic over time. So over the years, you have developed a repository. That's one more option. And here are examples of some repositories for STEM topics. You will see that come on the slides in a minute. Repositories, etc. Some of you may have heard of these. I would actually put NPTEL also as one of the important repositories here, because there are several, there's a lot of content that NPTEL also has. Okay, I think let's see if there's any question on YouTube. And if not, we can go to the next question. YouTube is the live question. Okay, we can take one of the live questions. What could be some criteria for chunking? Okay, that's actually something we can do right now. Maybe we can just show that website, online teaching.
There we had
Shall we go back to the video?
preparing content chunking.
Yeah, click on chunking. See, do we have to share it again?
No.
Here it will
Okay.
update.
It will update. Okay. Okay. So the online teaching website is actually a very good resource for instructors. It has, like we saw earlier, there are a lot of topics. What is important in chunking is to identify where to chunk. Now, this video here that you can see on the screen, we won't play it right now, but this video actually gives you an idea of why to chunk and where to chunk. So one way to think about it, so a very quick rule of thumb, a heuristic to chunk is if you are teaching in a class, anytime you sort of shift your mental attention. For example, you may be giving an explanation of a topic or of a theorem, and then you say, okay, now let's look at an example. Mentally, you as a teacher have shifted your attention from explanation to examples. That's a good place to chunk. After you do one example, you may say, okay, maybe let's go deeper into some clarification. That's one place to do it. Or you may say something like, let's do a demo of this. That's one place. You may say, let's look at a proof of this. So anytime you kind of shift gears, same topic, but within a topic, you can show the equations, you can do examples, you can work out problems, problem solving. You can go deeper into proofs, you can do demos. There are all these different types of teaching you do for a given topic. Those are good places to chunk. The guidelines are try not to make your chunks in the e-learning content. Try not to make them more than 10 minutes. 5 is better. 15 is really too much. Somewhere 5 to 10. But it doesn't mean that you keep a watch and as soon as your watch says 5 minutes, you cut the video. That's not what it means. But try to keep your explanation. Let's say your explanation is very long. See, in the explanation, can you cut it into 2 parts? Part 1 and part 2. If you have 3 good examples, split it into 3 chunks. So, Professor Neha, hope that answered your question. Let's take a look at the live interaction. Scroll down. Okay.
Could the muddy points be resolved in the very session or next?
Yeah. So I hope Bharti also is saying that if we want to conduct one more session, we can, but let's try to address them here itself. So Dr. Neha, you're also asking, is online teaching a website? Yes, it's accessible to all. Shija, can we put in chat the
Website?
the website?
Yeah.
So on the live interaction site, we will post the link. It's an open website. It was created during COVID to help instructors, to help all instructors into going it. So online teaching IIT Bombay. If you can Google that. We are just putting it on the website. It's a Google Sites. It has videos, it has explanations, it even has some self-help questions, self-assessment questions. It has a lot of information about both pedagogical strategies and tools. We just posted that.
Yeah. It's not working for some reason.
Use right click instead of Control C. Go to the website and can you right click and see. We're just stuck with some technical copy pasting. We're just getting back to you. Can somebody from the local NPTEL team help us, please? Somebody from the recording team? We just want to copy paste something into the interaction. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do it in a few minutes. Okay. Otherwise, other way you can do it is you just Google online teaching IIT Bombay. Okay, that the first hit will give that to you. Okay, so what we will do is we'll only take relevant questions here. Okay, so if it's any questions not relevant to this course, we won't address it in this live session. Okay. Now I think we can look at the next question we have from the discussion forum or from the Google form.
So this was another good question which was asked by.
We just need to Okay, there you go. Thank you. You have the website.
Yeah, so another question which was asked by one of you on the Google form was like suggestions to improve classroom teaching through the implementation of e-content. Which method of e-learning would be effective as per the instructor's experience? So we will try to deconstruct in multiple aspects because implementation of e-content will involve actually deciding on which tool to use, which tech to use, what would be your pedagogical approach. So we will get to it like one by one. So yeah. So let's discuss the technological.
The slides are visible.
So we will just first discuss technological aspects. So after once you are creating the e-content and planning on like delivering it, the appropriate selection of technology is very important because each tool has its own affordance and based on like which tool to select, like it will be based on your experience or your learner's experience with the tech, the type of task at hand, learning objectives, or domain or the nature of the topic that you are teaching. So the tech choice will differ accordingly. So I will just take like one example. So for example, take this. If the task at hand is to have like multiple groups of learners who are designing a concept map collaboratively. So one tool which would be, I think, the most appropriate for this.
Slow because they have not yet come up with the slide. Okay.
No, that's
Okay.
fine. It's just there's a
Delay.
delay in
Yeah.
that small lag. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So one tool that would be appropriate for this task would be MyRobot. So in MyRobot, multiple people can actually collaborate and take like different shapes and draw a connect and concept map, and so it allows multiple users to collaborate and uh, for this task, which is like drawing a concept map, that would be the most appropriate tool in this case. Another example would be like based on the ease of use. So maybe you are teaching to eighth grade students, and the problem at hand is that you're teaching the angle sum property of triangles. So, for example, since they are eighth grade students, so we use like multiple mathematical tools for this. Two of them are like one is GeoGebra and the another one is Wolfram Mathematica. So GeoGebra is kind of offers a more intuitive and easy to manipulate interface, uh, while the Mathematica would require a bit of advanced knowledge of the tools before you can create a simulation, equivalent simulation in the same software. So we feel that GeoGebra would be more appropriate. So according to the learning objectives and your target audience, it would be like according to them you choose an appropriate tool. So yeah. So these are like some of the visualizations that we commonly use while creating or curating our content. So these are in the form of video, animation, and simulation.
So let the screen load. I'll also point out that there was a question on the live interaction, which asked something about animation. I think it
Yeah.
asked about can we use animations. So Amrit, can you answer that?
Yeah. So to start off, of course you can, but you'll have to see like what is the thing that is relevant to you, and that is the most important thing that you want to convey. So each of these has have their own affordances. Can you like? So, for example, video would be a good descriptive. Will give a good descriptive view of a setting. For example, if you're showing them, if you're telling them about the landslides, or how to install a Wi-Fi router, because it's a procedural activity. So here the video will be like appropriate. Whereas, like if you see the simulations are where you can manipulate parameters and observe their changes and see like what causes what changes are they causing. And for example, you take a simple pendulum, like you can have multiple parameters for that, like the length of the string and all that. So and they are also useful when you want to convey something which happens in the long run. For example, the effects of climate change, right? So those are not quickly apparent. So those things are better conveyed with the help of simulation. And the third one is animation. So, for example, when you are want to convey something which is not apparent, for example, doping in a semiconductor. So these are the things. So to answer your question, you'll have to like find which what is the thing that you want to convey, and will the animation will be appropriate for the thing. So whatever your learning objective is, whatever your task in hand is, accordingly you will choose these representations.
Okay. Can go to the Zoom once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I think we are visible.
we are visible now only. Can we see if there is other questions from there?
No, nothing.
No questions. Okay, take it. All right, fine. Shija, you need to come closer if you're speaking, especially.
So, so we talked about like creation and curation, what technological aspects you have to take care of. So another part is delivering the content that you've created to the learners. So for this, you can use multiple platforms which are now available and also accessible for free. For example, Google Drive, and sometimes you want to create videos and put it on YouTube, and you can also make them private. And sometimes you will use LMS to pair it up with other. For example, if they have to discuss it after watching the video, Moodle offers a discussion forum. And similarly, if you want to assess probably their understanding, then you can use Google Form. So these are the things that you can like use to deliver your content. So, yeah. Another thing is if you are interacting with them, interacting with your audience, so you can use these platforms. Each offers slightly different. So, for example, Google Meet is free, and Teams is also free. But for example, if you want to record, then Teams offers 1 hour recording, and other platforms are like WebEx and Jitsi Meet. So discussion forums. So some of these some of these tools that we use for the discussion forum, LMS like Moodle, for example, offers discussion forum. Other new tools like Discord also offer the same thing, and Slack and Google Groups that we were also using for our NPTEL discussions, and where you were putting your responses and interacting with us. So that is also one of the tools to use.
Okay, so I'll just check if there are any other questions. And so far, okay, so no questions. So after every week's content, we had LXI, and it was a 4-week course. So we had LXI for all the 4 weeks, and we saw a good amount of discussion. In today's session, we will be addressing the LXI of week 2 and week 4, where we saw a lot of activity. The week 3 LXI was related to week 4. So when we discuss week 4, I think whatever queries you have about week 4 will be cleared. And week 1 was about challenges of e-learning, and we have addressed all the queries in the discussion forum itself. So thank you all for participating in the discussion forum. Now here in LXI, a table was shared, and we saw that a lot of people have given inputs of their inputs, and various topics have come up. So we're very happy to see that. Here, what I wanted to point out is that in all the tables that was shared by you, you have actually put on various topics, you have always put interactive video as one of the technology tool that you will be using in addition to Google Form. So that was very good thing. But we saw that same across all of them. So if you see the next slide, you have also used something called flipped classroom as one of the pedagogical methods you use, and also Kahoot. Kahoot is a gaming thing, and that was also very nice to see that you figured that gaming could also be used to teach a biology topic. In addition to this, what we feel that for the topic that you have chosen here in this LXI, which is erythropoiesis, you could use other technological tools such as have a next slide, please. Such as have your students use infographics like tools such as Canva, PictoChart, or Adobe Spark. So the students can focus on different stages of erythropoiesis, like what are the characteristics, how is it regulated, what happens if there's a stress, and things like that. You can also actually have some 3D modeling. So you can look at some virtual lab simulator, which gives some interactive elements that can allow the student to explore different stages of erythropoiesis by clicking on specific components. So that's the interactive element, and it's very useful for learning. Another thing that you can use, like how Amrit mentioned several platforms. So you can use such platforms to do case-based reasoning. So you can give a clinical case where a person is having some disorder in one of the stages or different stages of erythropoiesis, and you can have them come in a discussion forum. So which is peer learning, where peer learning is happening through discussion forum. So these are some of the additional technological affordances of technological platforms that you can use. So I think I'll hand it over to Meera to talk to you about the different PED aspects.
Yeah. So now,
There's a new question.
yeah, we'll look at any online question if we have, and then we'll talk about pedagogical aspects. Yeah. No questions. So now, assuming that you understood what Amrit was mentioning about creating or what ma'am mentioned about curating. So assuming you have your content ready with you, curated or created one. So it is not enough to have a technology and to go to a classroom. So it should be effective integration of technology in the classroom. How do we make effective integration of technology with the pedagogical aspects and pedagogical activities? So suppose you have content created or curated. So there are two types or two ways in which, like, there are many ways, but two ways are explained here, like blended learning, where you can combine your e-learning content. We'll keep this conversation for e-content. Suppose you have video, you have simulation, or you have any e-learning repository or reading material, and you want to combine that or you want to use that in your classroom in front of students. So that is called as blended learning. And if you want to use that content and then make some discussion in the classroom and give content for students to refer it later, we have flipped classroom. So there are different strategies which we can use in blended learning and flipped classroom. So suppose you have a video and you are teaching any one of the concept in any physics or any science. A video is running, like you must have seen in the activities like reflection spots. So if a video is going on and you have you have to have a pause, like Shija ma'am explained earlier, you should pause at a particular technical point or logical point and invite students to answer that question. So that makes it like active engagement of students and not only the passive information gaining. Then if you are creating any new videos, you can incorporate this reflection spots with the help of technology itself, like H5P or Edpuzzle or any other tools, so that you can incorporate the reflection spot inside a video. So what are the purposes of putting up reflection spots? To find out the prior knowledge of the students of that particular topic, to check the assimilation of the e-content, like to check whatever content you have presented currently, to check that the students have assimilated that knowledge. And also one point is that to break the monotony of the class going on. So reflection spot is one of the activities. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Meera. So actually, we had talked about reflection spots in week 2, and in the LXI of week 2, we had given you an activity. So we have just picked up 2 of them. There were several, but we have picked up 2 to just show you give our comments. We have also discussed this in the discussion forum. Okay. So Meera, can you click that and will it work?
I think we'll have to share that.
Share that screen. Yeah.
I think it's visible now.
There's a delay. So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Can you play that?
Please.
Can you see the timeline?
Hi, this is Pratima from Planet Physiology.
Can you go here?
In this session, we are going to
We are just
now let us understand the various errors in its elastic structure. Its refractive power can be increased as per the need of the eye. It can increase up to 32 to 34 diopters with maximum accommodation. Now let us understand the various errors of refraction.
Okay, so here the learner has tried to incorporate a reflection spot using H5P. They have done it very nicely. I just wanted to tell about the nature of the reflection spot.
Should I
So
click on the review?
please click on the review. So here she is asking questions of whatever has been taught so far. Now, if we click on one of the answers, then we see that the feedback is so there are questions one after the other. Okay, there are 4-5 questions, and we see that the answer, the feedback is only in the form of yes or no. Okay, so we'll go through. There are 4 questions that the learner has asked, and the H5P gives the option of show the solution. So if you show the solution, if you click on show the solution also, it is only what is the correct answer. So for a reflection spot to be effective, it is not advisable to have 4-5 questions together. That's the first point. The second point is that once you say what is the correct answer, we have to give an explanation of why the answer is correct and why the other options are also not are incorrect. Okay, so that is where the reflection spot gets completed. So these 4 reflection spots, all of them are very good, but they have to be placed at an appropriate point, and it cannot go one after the other without a complete feedback. Okay, so that was one of the comments that we wanted to give for this particular reflection spot. Can we go back to the other one? In this one that you will see in your screen in a couple of seconds. I'm going to share this. You might have to share, I think.
Okay.
Okay, it's opening. Yeah, thanks. So if you see this video, this is about identifying the characteristic of a microorganism. Now, before the video starts only, there is a reflection spot question. So this is a very undesirable thing to do. At least we have to take some time because I think this was to check the prior knowledge of the students for this particular topic, but some amount of just an introduction or just tell about the learning outcome of this particular topic that you're going to discuss, and then take a pause and then put a question that the learner will to test the previous knowledge of the students. I think that is more recommended rather than starting with a reflection spot. So these are the others also had similar kind of we saw similar kind of things in the other video also, but I think these 2 video covers what we want to talk about reflection spot. So any questions about reflection spot, please feel free to add it in the live chat. We can address it. We'll wait for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Different strategies. Question, please. The second question will come to I see.
Any questions or any difficulties that you experienced while using the tool for adding the reflection spot questions? Anything on those lines we can address. Okay, you can ask at any time. We'll go ahead and
Yeah.
we can ask.
Go ahead.
You can ask at any time.
Yeah, so if you have a video as your content, e-learning content, so now you saw that you can use reflection spots for interactivity. Suppose you have a simulation with you. So how to make it more active for learners, and suppose they don't have a separate devices with them. So what you can do as a teacher or as an instructor, you can display the simulation to the classroom, and you can ask student to predict the outcome of the simulation. Suppose Amrit had mentioned about the pendulum. Suppose you show the pendulum simulation to them, and then ask, like, after we change the length of the pendulum to from 5 to 10, what will the outcome will be? Give students time to predict the outcome. Then ask student to interact with the simulation. If they cannot interact, take the responses from students, and then you can handle the simulation and change the length from 5 to 10 or any other variables you can change, and show them the outcome. After they see the outcome of the simulation, now ask students to reflect on the simulation and explain it to other peers. So this strategy is known as predict, observe, explain. So this you can use it in any context of the or any topic you can use it. The other activity or the other way you can use e-content in the classroom is flipped classroom, where you assign the pre-class work to them. So e-content can be given before the class happens, and like this could include watching videos, reading articles, or completing online exercises or quizzes. What all you can do with respect to the content, after you give content, you can also give short quizzes, discussion prompts to students, ask them to reflect on the questions. After they have come to the class with prior assigned work and after attempting the quizzes, in-class activity can be any active learning strategy that we will see quickly in the next slides. And also as an instructor, you have to clear some of the understanding or whatever understanding or knowledge students come to the classroom, you have to discuss on that. So there are few active learning strategies, think, pair, share. What you can do is you can ask a question in the classroom. Learner has to think it individually first, then you can ask them to pair with their neighbors, discuss as a pair, discuss among themselves like what can be the answer for this question, and then ask that pair to share their understanding with the entire class. The other active learning strategy is peer instruction. So when you can ask a MCQ kind of question to the entire class, and then they have to choose one answer, then ask them to discuss it with their peers, like what did they choose as an answer, and collaborate and discuss it, why my answer is right or my answer is wrong, and discuss and come to the conclusion, and then share it to the class. So these are few of the active learning strategies that you can incorporate along with the technology or e-content you have in the classroom. Yeah, if you have any other question related to e-content.
There is one question. The question was from Shraddha. She's asking, can we use images in reflection? I think it's reflection spot. So yes, I don't think there is any restriction.
So maybe we can take this in two steps, okay?
Hmm.
Pedagogically, yes, very much, definitely. It's actually a good idea to create reflection spots that require images, because then students are connecting representations, graphical representations or diagrammatic representations with the concept. Technologically, it depends on the platform you're using. If you're using H5P, I think it's very much possible,
Yeah,
right?
that's correct.
Edpuzzle, it's also possible. So most platforms actually do allow you to use images. So from a pedagogical standpoint, it's actually desirable to do it. Technology-wise, most of them do allow you to do it.
Provide a list of tools possible for reflection spots. Okay.
Dr. Neha is asking if tools for reflection spot or interactive training is possible. So my first suggestion is go to the online teaching website and see if under preparing content there is something like this is already there. Otherwise, we will just tell you what we remember right now. We can put it up in the course discussion forum also.
Yes.
Whether it's free or not, these things keep changing. We can tell you what we know about. Many of them do allow you a free trial, but later it's paid. Some of them are free if you use them inside Moodle, but if you use them standalone, they may be more expensive. So I think what we will do is we will specifically to create reflection spots, we will suggest some, we'll put it in the course itself. The ones that immediately come to mind are Edpuzzle and H5P.
Edpuzzle is the free version where they have their already they have their already created videos embedded in the platform, or you can use any YouTube video and add your reflection spot in the Edpuzzle.
So you have to first upload your video to YouTube and then link it into Edpuzzle and then create the reflection spot. Okay, any other questions? We'll wait for another 30 seconds or so. If you actually have other questions, let's say you remember them later or something, do feel free to post it on the course discussion forum, because that is something we are monitoring very regularly. This is partially paid. I don't know if it's free.
Yeah,
Just don't put anything.
It's a trial period.
Yeah, trial, I think is there. Okay, so we have posted the links, and this brings us to the end of this live interaction session. Hope you got some useful information out of it. And like we said earlier, do keep posting questions, create your own content, and so on. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, once again, one important thing, you do open the door, teachers get reflection.